بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته, and welcome to Takaful online course. And today we shall carry on our discussions on the Sharia contract in Takaful. We have covered Wakala, and today we move on to Mudarabah. And Mudarabah, as you know, it is part of the Sharia contract used in Takaful. We have mentioned before, as you know, Wakala, which determines the relationship between the participant and the Takaful operator in order to manage the entire business operation on behalf of the participant. Now today, Mudarabah, which is regarded as another contract which is more related to the investment. As you know, equity contracts such as Mudarabah, Musharaka, and Wakala bil Istithmar, they have an investment natures, whereby most of the time in Islamic finance, being in Takaful or Islamic banking or Islamic capital market, they always have features of an investment. So Mudarabah is used in the investment side of Takaful, whereby normally the Takaful operator will take that fund and invest it. So the fund will not be staying idle, but it will be deployed in different investment classes, such as sukuk, money market instruments, stock market, REITs, ETFs, possible fixed up deposit, and so on and so forth. So there are different classes that the investment team of the Takaful operator will look and try to invest that money in order to generate return. So basically that kind of actions that has been undertaken by the Takaful operators in order to invest the money in a different investment classes to generate quite a decent return for the interest and the benefit of the risk of funds, and also the participant, is managed under the structures of Mudarabah. This is why there is an additional return for the Takaful operator from the investment sides. In other words, Takaful operators may take fee on Wakala, which is one of the incomes, and also Takaful operators will share part of the profit generated as a result of the investments of the funds based on Mudarabah structures, whereby the participant will assume the positions of a capital provider, and the Takaful operator will assume the positions of the Mudarib, and money will be invested and profit will be shared between the two parties. So this is another what's so-called source of income for the Takaful operator. And as you can see, this is very common phenomena in the Islamic finance practices, being in Islamic banking, Takaful, or Islamic capital market, whereby the institutions, its position may change in the same what's so-called facility agreements or facility arrangements of specific structures evolve in a different stage. So as you can see, the Takaful operators will take a position of Wakala, then in a different stage will take a positions of Mudarib, in a different stage will take the status of capital providers in a form of loan in case when you inject the Qard Hasan. So again, it depends what kind of structure we are talking about. It depends what kind of contract we are talking about, and it depends in what stage from the process of the overall business operation of Takaful we are talking about. And as a result of that, you will see that the financial institutions or the Islamic financial institution may change its positions accordingly. So let me briefly talk about this Mudarabah that we are talking about. So Mudarabah, basically it is known as a Muqarada, it is known as a profit sharing contract, and it is one of the equity structure in Islamic finance. As you know, when it comes to the structures, there are some structures which are debt in nature, and there are others which are equity in nature. So this Mudarabah is under the clusters of partnership, similar to the Musharaka, Muzara'a, Mugharasa, and so on and so forth. So it is an equity structure per se. So when it comes to the Mudarabah, there's a kind of arrangements between the capital providers who will provide the capital, provide the money, and the other party will provide zero money, meaning he will not contribute with any capital, but he will provide work. He provide his expertise, his knowledge to manage the business. So in other words, it is a combination of capital and work. Capital provider provide the capital and the Mudarib provide work. So it is a combinations between the capital and work. Two of them will constitute what's called Mudarabah, on the ground that if there is a profit, it will be shared between the capital provider and the Mudarib. And in case of losses, it will be 100% entirely borne by the capital provider. Only in the case of misconduct, negligence, or a breach of terms and conditions, then in this case, of course, the Mudarib will be held liable and shall basically compensate whatever possible losses in the capital. But if there is no negligence, no misconducts, no breach of any terms and conditions, so basically in case of profit will be of course shared according to the profit ratio agreed upon at the beginning of the venture, and in case of losses definitely it will be 100% entirely borne by the capital provider. So in this case, capital providers is the participant and the capital is the risk fund and whatever contributions by the participant, including the risk, the investment fund, and the Takaful operator will manage that fund based on the Mudarabah, where the money will be investment, and basically they will be sharing a specific profit sharing ratio, whereby part of it goes to the participant, and the other part basically goes to the Mudarib or the Takaful operator. So you can define Mudarabah as a contract on profit, which is a little bit different than Musharaka, because Musharaka, the contributions will come from two parties, meaning one partner will inject money, the other partner will inject money. If there is any profit, it will be shared between them according to the agreed profit ratio. And if there is any losses, it will be shared and borne by both of them according to the ratio of the capital invested by each one of them. But when it comes to Mudarabah, even though it is an equity, even though it is a partnership, but the contribution of the capital is coming from one side and the other side only provide what's called work, meaning it is a combination of capital and expertise, whereby the capital provider will entrust a person who can be regarded as a fund manager, a businessman, entrepreneur, who will run basically the entire business operation with the objective to generate what's called a profit. So this is in overall a high-level descriptions on the Mudarabah, which is also regarded as one of the important contract in the structure of Takaful. With that, stop here and thank you very much, and we shall carry on the discussions on Mudarabah in the coming session بإذن الله تعالى. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.